What is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Camping with Coleman. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, and yep, you are seeing that correctly. That is a first generation Jeep Liberty, also known as the KJ. This is not the Renegade model. It doesn't have all the accessories like the crazy roof light system and stuff, but I believe it's more like the limited version, I would say. This is really turning out to be one of my favorite RCs. I've been playing with it a little bit behind scenes and working on it here and there, and basically I don't know, I'm falling in love with it. It's a Tamiya CC01 chassis and base. I mean, it's a Tamiya CC01. It doesn't have any modifications really at all, just a few little things. It's basically bone stock. The body is a New Bright, I'm pretty sure. I got it in a trade off of Facebook, and I did a little work to it. It was originally flat or gloss black with silver windows. I painted it flat black, painted the windows gloss black, went ahead and threw some TF2 wheels and tires on there. These are the RC 4-wheel drive mud thrashers, and the 1.55 stamped Steelies, I think is what they're called. And I went ahead and threw those on there. They're right off my TF2. I painted them all flat black. They were originally white. And yeah, I added some cool things like a powered winch and these hot racing D-rings up front. The winch is actually mounted in the chassis. Runs through 2 sets of fair leads. And then the reason I went for the CC01 is the wheelbase and stock setup is really, it's perfect for this body, and it has independent front suspension, just like a real KJ would have. Also has the straight axle in the back, like a real KJ would have. Has nice suspension movement. It's got good travel. It's realistic. It tucks the tire right to the fender there. I probably wouldn't have cut so much off if it was me originally, but it's, you know, it actually turned out to be perfect. I like it. I don't have lights in it yet. I haven't installed them. I've got just a stock axial light system I'm going to throw in there. Let's see, what else? It's got the little dinky RC light box on top. It's got a few goodies in there. Really, I don't know if I can tilt that and show you. But it's got, you know, some recovery gear, axe. It's got some skis in there just in case I find some snow, I guess. On the back there, this is Top Shelf Hobbies, TSH, scale gas can. Proline Racing jack there. That's the high lift jack. And then the spare tire is actually off of ELLIOTT's hard body JK, the 2-door JK. And I apologize, my phone's going to be blowing up. I forgot to take it out before I started the video. The links and everything underneath is all bone stock. I did do some, you know, reinforcing on things. I ran screws all the way through the chassis to lock down the gear cover. I did add the HPI gear reduction unit. It's running a 13-turn Crawlmaster Sport, so it's a 540 can, and I'm running that through an HPI gear reduction unit, which is a 7.4-to-1 gear reduction. It's running stock gearing in the axles, stock dog bones up front. However, I did shim them to keep them nice and tight, and by shimming them, I mean I didn't use metal shims. I used rubber grommets that seated inside of there against the curvature of the dog bone that shoves it nice and tight into the cup. And so it keeps them all in contact nice and tight as I'm putting some force into it, putting some torque into it. And I did do a little trimming to get a little bit more steering angle. You can see it is not the most steering angle, but it is more than stock, which is nice. Yeah, I don't have all the sponsor stickers on there. I'm a little short on some of my stickers, but I'm getting there. And yeah, man, it's pretty cool. It runs off a GT3B. It does have a working winch. This is not hacked. I did a little trick that I found on another YouTube video from a guy off of RC Crawler. I'm sure it'll be easy for you guys to look up. Just type in maybe GT3B no hack or something like that. And basically, this right here will, well, here, you go like this. Right now, the trim set all the way to the left. Push it all the way to the right, the winch will come out. Push it all the way back to the left, it stops. Click this button, the winch goes in. Click it again, it stops. And that's really how it works. It's pretty simple, a little bit more complicated than just having a 3-position switch, obviously. But it is working scenario if you don't want to pay for a hack, or if you don't have the funds for a hack at the moment. So that's how it works. And it is geared down really low, obviously, because of that gear reduction unit. But it works really nice. And with the stock gears and everything. Oh, and for a winch controller, I'm using a HOLMES HOBBIES. Right here, let me pull one down, show you guys exactly what I'm using. This is a TorqueMaster BR Mini. This is the miniature version of the TorqueMaster BR XL, which is just a phenomenal ESC. So this can actually put down some power. This can handle a lot, but at the same time you need to be careful, because as you can see, it's very bare. It is waterproof, believe it or not, but at the same time, this has no heatsink. It has no protection. There's no case around it, so you got to be very careful with it. You don't want to overheat it. You really got to keep an eye on the temperature with no heatsink. Make sure you use it, on minimal loads, light trucks, light cars, maybe for a drift car or something like that. I personally am using it in this as a winch controller, and it works awesome as a winch controller. I mentioned on Facebook I was going to tell people how I use these. I use these as winch controllers. Got the idea from the man himself. Anyways, pretty stoked. Let me turn this thing on for you guys real quick, just to give you an idea of what it drives like. I'm not going to take it and drive it all over, but I will pull it up on something right here. I keep the wires right here. I use Dean's plugs, and they are 3S, like I said. I got a little 2200 3S in here. There you go. You hear all the chiming going on. That's because I got the two HOLMES HOBBIES ESCs in there. It does need a BEC. I will admit that right off the bat. The steering, I can stop the steering if I want to a little bit. It's just not that tough. Plus, it's the stock steering linkage in there, which is plastic. I'm going to have to do something about that, I have a feeling. Alright, let's see. Let's run over something here. Let's pull this old drill out here, just because it's heavy. And we'll run over that. I'm going to back her up. Alright. So now it's all backed up. We'll set this just like that, and we'll pull up on one side, nice and slow. I want to show you guys, low speed control is what I love. And this has it. One lug at a time. You see the scale flex? The back tire's actually off the ground a little bit right now. They're both touching again. It's perfect, man. You hear a little bit of rub, not a lot. Just enough to get some tire noise, which that's okay with me. Alright. Let's see if I can hold it still. I'll hold it in place with this. There we go. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, is that as fast as it goes? Like, what's the top speed? Is it always going to be geared that low? Does it go walking speed? Well, it does. It goes a little bit faster than walking speed. Here's a little throttle burst. It will get up and go a little bit faster than walking speed. And as you can hear, there's no skipping of the gears. That's a 13-turn Crawlmaster going back and forth through a gear reduction unit. So it's got tremendous amounts of torque. No clickety-click, no skipping of the teeth, nothing like that. And that's plastic gears inside of this thing. Plastic stock Tamiya gears. Very impressive little truck, especially since the price on these is so low. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Oh yeah, I did make a custom skid plate up front. That's a custom skid plate. And in order to get the body on and off, there's no screws or anything like that. I'm sure some of you guys are wondering how the body mounts. There's stock Tamiya mounts are right there. Right? I have shims on them. I put some shims on and I lock those shims in place with a rubber grommet. And then I just slip that right through. I slip the holes, or slip the little post right through those holes. And there's just enough sticking out to where it keeps it nice and tight. And then up front, what I do is I will let my winch out, like I was telling you guys earlier. Push it forward. Trim all the way to the right lets it out. Trim all the way to the left stops it. Right? So now, if I want the body off, I just lift it and pull it like that. And as you can see, there's another fair lead there. That fair lead is actually what locks the body in place. And that's it. Super simple, super easy, super affordable, nothing fancy, and it's reliable. Good fun. And it's super scale. It's super realistic. A lot of people were trying to tell me that these KJ bodies were going to be too small. I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. But not everything has to go on a straight axle vehicle, or what, you know, it doesn't always have to go on what you're most used to running. Now this is the tricky part. Normally I will disconnect this from the D-ring first, because it will rip that D-ring right off of there. This is on 3S, like I said, and when I click this button, it goes full throttle right back in. It sucks that winch in. So you got to be able to click the button again before it gets tight. So let's see if I can do it. Boom, there we go. Perfect, actually. And there we go. That's how we do it, man. And just to show you guys that that body is not actually going anywhere, you can see for yourself. I can throw the whole truck around by the body. It's not going anywhere. So, there you have it. That is the Roach, as I'm calling it. My Tamiya CC01 Jeep Liberty KJ. It's a first generation, probably like a 2002 to 2004, because it's before the body modifications or updates or changes or anything, and definitely before the second generation. So I'd say 2002, 2004 Jeep Liberty KJ. So anyways, you guys, shout out to my buddy Alec, my teammate, my Wordy Made teammate, Alec Vanderbrink. I was actually inspired to build this because of his 1-1 Jeep KJ. He is a rebel, man. He friggin' likes to rub it in everybody's face that he still has his independent front suspension, and he ain't scared. He don't have no lockers, but he still goes places, man. This is locked up, Alex. Sorry, I wasn't going to take the no locker approach on this one. Maybe someday I'll unlock them and we'll see how it goes. But anyways, you guys, that's it. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode of whatever we do on here. Camping with Coleman or ESP, or I don't know what we're going to do. Actually, we're probably going to do some product reviews next for TGN Distributing. So you guys check that out. Peace and chicken grease. And if you haven't yet, subscribe.